Disgraceful and unforgivable. The decision to demolish Grenfell Tower attacked. I'm going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Sky News with a headline that disgraceful and unforgivable. The decision to demolish Grenfell Tower attacked. It has been almost 8 years since 72 people died in the Grenfell Tower disaster, the UK's deadliest residential fire since the Second World War. Now, we covered a story not too long ago about a while ago, I'd say, where I was in the belief that it was in the best decision to demolish Grenfell Tower. And there should be a permanent memorial placed, in my opinion, in its place, a proper memorial to commemorate what happened on this day. Now, some people some people are not happy with this decision. Some people don't want that. Some people want it renovated. There are all sorts of people have all sorts of different reasons. Now I totally understand that some people, it feels, for those in the Grenfell community in particular, that they will feel that they need to keep this as for to hold on to their memory or whatnot. But for me, and I am coming at this from the outside, it's a stain on the community. Now, what do I mean by a stain on the community? Well, for ordinary people, they have to see that all the time. Whenever people go to work, whether it's they walk past or whatnot, they are consistently reminded by that tower, by what happened. And it's not a very good thing to remember every day. No one wants to forget about Grenfell, but people also want to move on from it as well. And a memorial is a much better solution than keeping that tower up. It will cost way too much money and resources to renovate it and turn it back into what it was before in any way, shape or form. I cannot stress that. So, and that's just not, considering the situation, it's not worth the cost to do that. So you're basically just leaving an empty skyscraper in the middle of the area, reminding people of what happened. And nobody is saying that they want to forget about Grenfell. People want to move on from it in a way that if there is a memorial to remember people by. I don't think it's disgraceful and unforgivable to demolish Grenfell Tower. I think it's the right decision to do so. What else are you supposed to do with this tower? Like, generally, what is the benefit of keeping this tower up? Again, I understand how people feel about it. I understand how people feel about it, and rightfully so. But we can't just leave this empty tower block, just sitting there forever. At some point, you've got to do something to it. And I think this is the best. I think it should be demolished, and I think a proper memorial should be placed where it is to remember those who lost their lives. I think that is the best thing to do. But some people respectfully will disagree. So the government have been accused of ignoring the voices of people who lost families in the Grenfell fire tragedy in its decision to demolish the building. Grenfell United, will represent some bereaved and survivors, criticised the government's conduct as disgraceful and unforgivable. The news was announced in a meeting attended by Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner on Wednesday night. Grenfell United said that Angela Rayner could not give a reason for her decision to demolish the tower. She refused to confirm how many bereaved and survivors had been spoken to the recent short 4-week consultation. But judging from the room alone, the vast majority of whom were bereaved, no one supported her decision, but she claims her decision was based on our views. The meeting showed just how upset bereaved and survivors are about not having their views heard or considered in this decision. Ignoring the views of bereaved on the futures of our loved ones, gravesite is disgraceful and unforgivable. The government says the decision is a deeply personal matter for people affected by the tragedy, and that Ms Rayner is committed to keeping their voices at the heart of this. It's been almost 8 years since 72 people died in the Grenfell Tower disaster, the UK's deadliest residential fire since the Second World War. There have been discussions over the years about how best to commemorate the tragedy for decades to come, Engineering experts have said that while the tower remains stable, it is safe for people to live, work and study nearby. Its conditions will worsen over time and no realistic prospect of it bringing back into use. And this is the context here. Now, I don't know how much of this has been emphasized in that room. Now, they're saying that they were not consulted on this. I'm pretty sure... no, let me take that back. I would have thought that they would have been aware of the condition of the tower itself and that they cannot continue to keep it up forever. I would have thought that that's what they have been said, but the perception that is coming from the Sky News article is that that is not the case. Grenfell's next of kin, which represents some of the bereaved families, describe the move to demolish the building as a deeply sensitive decision. After a thorough engagement process in persons follows an uncomfortable conversation and uncomfortable truths. In a statement on X, the group said the lack of closure, the continuous discussions and consultations, the re-traumatization of a diversive and painful debate brings nothing to the table except pain and further division. We want a discussion about what will go in the tower's place so it can be seen as and remembered forever. We need to reimagine a future and rebuild our broken, shattered lives and our families. If they have promised a memorial if the tower's been destroyed, then that is the right thing to do. But I wish I'd have a clear answer. It sounds like they've not been given a clear answer of what is in its replacement here. Councillor Elizabeth Council, leader of Kingston and Chelsea Council, said the future of Grenfell Tower is a decision for the government. We know this will be a difficult moment for bereaved families, members, survivors and the immediate local community. It's vital that the government works closely with those affected to understand their concerns and move forward with the decision. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Housing, Community and Local Government says the priority of the Deputy Prime Minister is to meet and to write to bereaved survivors and the immediate community to let them know her decision on the future of Grenfell Tower. It's a deeply personal matter for all those affected, and the Deputy Prime Minister is committed to keeping voices at the heart of this. In September last year, the public inquiry into Grenfell found systematic dishonesty continued to the horrific fire. The inquiry chairman, Sir Martin Mood-Brick, said that the simple truth was all the deaths were avoidable and that all those who lived in the tower were badly failed by authorities, in most cases through incompetence, but in many cases through dishonest and greed. The report lays bare years of missed opportunity to prevent the catastrophic and how those representatives to the fire safety were at risk of being compromised through commercial interest. The Metropolitan Police said last year decisions on criminal charges for the blaze are not expected until the end of 2026. Criminal charges. So they still have to wait for that. But the context of this story on Grenfell is about the decision to demolish Grenfell. And I stand by Angela Rayner's decision to say that it has to be demolished. I stand by that decision. Now, like I said, I don't know what was actually said in the room with the conversations that they were actually made. And I don't know how much they emphasised that they cannot keep the tower in the condition it is. Now, I'm not aware if the Labour government have not said that they are going to guarantee a proper memorial in place of the tower, then questions need to be raised about that. Absolutely, I think that is a major issue if that's not going to be brought up. Whether or not they want to rebuild a new tower in its place and have a memorial under it or something like that is, again, it has to be a decision not just by the government but by Grenfell United. They need to have their say in this. It cannot just be a case of what the government's decision on this. Then they say they are working closely with them, but the impression that I'm getting here, the communication has not been very good here. But I do agree with the decision that the tower does need to come down. I do agree with that decision, but maybe some of you will disagree. But in terms of engineering, in terms of it, I think it is the right thing to do. But what do you guys think? Do you think the tower should be demolished and taken down? Do you agree with the Labour government's decision? I do. However, whether it has been communicated properly to Grenfell United is another thing. But let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments below. If you found this video helpful and informative to you, hit that like button, share it across social media, and subscribe for further content. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.